We need to review this car. Otherwise...
Diesel. I heard, that the XC40 comes in 7 flavours of trim, which sounds like a lot. But I think it's because you can upgrade it to Pro. Pro? Is it Pro? One of them you get heated front seats and you get...
I thought you do. Do you not get heated front seats on all of them?
I don't think you do. Well, they start at what, 28 grand? You don't get heated seats for the sort of first...
I just thought that they chuck in heated seats because they're Swedish.
Well, that's what I assume that, because it's what
maybe
it's
they don't,
become
because they go, well, your country's not good. Your country's extremely hot compared to ours.
Yeah, I think they used to do that. And I
tell you what
don't
you
know
do
if they do
get.
that anymore.
Tell you what you do get. I think it's the mark of a good Scandinavian car. It's got very sturdy wipers and they're very sort of powerful wash on them.
And the wash is on.
The wash. Have a look at the wash on the back window.
That
puts out a refinery fire. That's amazing, isn't it?
There is something good about that kind of thing, though, isn't there?
It's reassuring, isn't it?
Yeah.
You go, well, it can withstand a Scandinavian winter, so basically it's
You're
fine.
okay.
But I like...
Is that a 3-stage heated wheel?
Yes, it is. I sort of like this touchscreen for the most part, but I would honestly... How many taps do you need just to turn the temperature up while you're driving? Okay, it's 22 there, I'd like it to be 21.
Yeah.
Oh shit, he's done that. Why has he done that? I didn't want to do that.
See, I'd rather just have a little
rotary.
rotary.
Yeah, little rotary. I don't mind some stuff on the touchscreen, but not this
9-inch portrait touchscreen. It's good for me as a passenger.
But then look, I like all the swipey. I like the swipe.
I forget that you can sideswipe it because it's just a very small.
See, that's all good.
Yeah,
that's nice. That feels incredibly modern and nice and pleasant.
You get optional Driftwood dashboard inserts.
Really?
Yeah. How much Driftwood?
It's just smell, wouldn't it?
How much Driftwood is around?
Where are they getting their Driftwood from?
It's some guy foraging for Volvo dashboard inserts.
Well, that's it. It's just like, now here's the guy who does our dashboard mouldings. He works for Chemiplex Plastics. They're actually based out of the Netherlands. And this is Scurvy Ken, who gets our Driftwood by just wandering the beaches of Scandinavia. He's got an enormous beard and one of those woolly hats and a roll neck jumper.
The piano black finish is an option on this car.
Yeah, and they have to harvest a lot of pianos to get that, don't they, which is a nightmare.
It is terrible, especially if you battery farm them, because their bones get a little bit brittle.
It's not ethical to battery farm pianos in this day and age, is it? You want free range pianos.
You do. You do. Feels like it's got very deep. I know this car's on a new chassis platform. It's called CMA or something. Is
That's
that right?
Right, yes. Excellent
Remind
knowledge.
me what it's called.
CMA.
Yeah, what does that stand for?
Compact Modular Architecture.
Architecture, that's right.
Because I think the XC90 and the 90 Saloon and Estate are on
a different platform.
Oh,
but this
feels like it should be LMA for large modular.
Yeah.
I don't think it is. Anyway.
So actually, although this car looks very different to its brethren, it's a steel car and it's
pretty
McPherson
normal.
strut,
it's nothing. That's the thing. I think it's the design that sort of lifts it, and I like the way it looks. I think there's some weirdness, like the front wing where it meets here, the A-pillar is sort of. It looks a bit like some bit of it's dropped. It doesn't all line up.
Yeah.
But I really like the Swedish flag.
The little thing, that's odd.
On the wing there.
That is odd.
Is odd, but sort of good. And they've just done it because they can, and why not? It's fun. I think it's... all of these first edition cars have it, and then it'll be an option. It's one of those things you wouldn't spec it if you had to pay money for it. Unless you're a patriotic Swede.
You're going to end up pressure washing it off by accident, aren't you?
I would hope they tested for that, but I just don't know.
Well, it's got to be, if it's been tested in Scandinavia, it's got to have been heavily frost tested. And
frost testing you can take as read. More of a risk than cold weather is in really hot weather. It goes so soft that local children start stretching it out so it's sort of 15 times its normal length.
Do you know what it is? It's like a really, really good looking person that happens to have a small but still significant nephus.
Nephus?
Yeah, skin tag.
Nephus?
The correct word for skin tag.
Is that the medical term for a skin tag?
If you've got a nephus, that's the skin tag, mate.
Nephus sounds like it might also be the first name of the man who designed this car.
There is.
Hello, I am Nephus Johansson. So if I was Tiff, I would probably say that this car's handling is not.
It's not its
anything to
highlight.
write. Oh, but it's fine. It goes around corners. It's all right. It's not bad. It's just. It's a diesel.
I tell you what I always find.
It's a diesel SUV, isn't it? I mean,
Volvos are always sprung on the softer side of life.
Yeah. Now this has got a firmness to it, but not. It's firm, but it's not uncomfortable. It feels well damped.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just.
Yeah.
It's a car you'd live with every day as a sort of normal person who's not that interested in cars, and you'd be delighted with it.
Yeah.
You'd be delighted with your big touch screen and your exterior styling and your just general pleasantness. The seats are really comfy, as they usually are in Volvos.
Volvos are like an adventure-inducing car. I'd want to put a nice bike rack on this and leave it on all year round for the hell of it. I want to know how much this tows. I'll have to find out.
Why do you want to know that?
Well, because it's an SUV, and I want there to be a lot of you in SUV. If I was going to own one, I want a lot of you.
Yeah, see, I quite like that this hasn't got too much S in it.
Not too much S.
Can I point out something interesting? Well, interesting to me. Gear shift paddles. A lot of Volvos don't have them because, again, they're just not interested in being sporty. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Gear shift paddles. Metal on the front looks nice. And a lot of cars, that would be it. They'd be made of metal. But this, look,
I can see
plastic
them.
on the back. And I thought, interesting. Why is that?
Coldness.
Coldness.
Yeah. So metal to the touch is unattractive.
However, these spokes on the wheel, I discovered this morning, it was a bit frosty, are real metal. And they're chuffing freezing.
I was reading about this car having a waste basket.
Yes, it does.
So, is it basically throwing stuff into here?
No, look, there's a separate
it's
thing and you can
different.
empty it out. I mean, I wouldn't put, like, a bit of banana
so
in there
that-
because it'll frigging stink. Yeah, put that in there.
Look at it, it's just
That's
a little
fine.
Brabantia bin, basically.
Yeah, it's great, isn't it? It's a really nice idea. As long as you
Yeah.
just put paper and stuff in it, clears it away. There's loads of that. Look, there's a little, so you've got your phone charging pad down there.
Yeah.
That's good.
That's nicely
The
damped.
door bins, you know what they've done? Bit of trivia for you. They've taken the bass speakers.
Yeah.
Normally, they're down here at the bottoms of the doors.
Yeah.
No. The whole of the dashboard here is a bass resonator. No bass bins down here means they can make the door pockets bigger, and they're designed to be big enough for an laptop.
I read about this, and I also read about the fact that the door moulding is simpler and cheaper to do, but yet doesn't really look any cheaper because it's carpet
It's
three quarters.
Yeah.
It's 3/4 carpet.
Yeah.
Sounds grim, but actually,
No, it's great. And
I like it.
and then in here, behind your waste paper bin, that for some reason is big enough for a box of tissues.
That is really big. Do you know what? That's big. That's big enough for a pair of women's shoes,
I suppose it is.
if you so wished.
I usually keep my women's shoes just behind my seat.
Is that where you normally
Yeah,
keep
yeah.
them? Is it?
Keep a pair of heels back there.
I see. Nice
yeah.
bit of frameless rearview mirror.
Mirrors, standard now, isn't it? A lot of scars to go.
These rather interesting. They look like an Edsel front grille.
Yeah,
air
I like
vent.
this sort of, this middle bit moves about and then.
Yeah, I like it.
It's
These are
all-
different from the XC60 and the 90,
Yeah,
aren't they?
but this, and the other thing is, I mean, I know this is the posh one, this is like 40 grand, which is a lot, but
This is-
you'd easily spunk 40 grand on an Evoque or a Q3.
Yeah, it's true.
And this, I think, has more bits and pieces on it. All this sort of stuff is standard. So this, no matter which one you get, even the cheapo one, the basic one, has your big screen. Even the cheapo one has your TFT dials on it.
That's across the board.
Yeah, there's not much about it that's not just perfectly fine or deeply pleasant, except this automatic one. To put it into drive when it's been parked, you have to pull the lever back twice. Once for neutral, once for drive. I presume it's a safety feature, but it's just. And then you're in drive. You're doing a 3-point turn. To get it into reverse, dum twice.
So it's
is
double the
click.
amount of manoeuvres.
double than any other car I can think of. And I guess they've done it for safety reasons because they're Volvo.
Yeah.
But credits us with a bit of intelligence, because one of those panicky 3-point turns.
Oh, they're awful.
Where there's people coming.
Yeah, I
and
hate
it is
that.
your sole responsibility. Your single job in the world at that point is to get out of people's way.
Yeah.
Because I believe that human beings it is your duty to be as unselfish as possible.
Yeah.
And so impeding people's progress is slightly selfish because you've decided to do a three-point turn rather than waiting to turn around somewhere else.
Yeah.
I just feel like this is the kind of car you'd sort of
commit and buy.
Own and enjoy, and it would be all good. It's just pleasant.
Yes, it's very true. It's very true. And the Q3 and the X1, I feel like they're cars that those companies felt like they had to have them in their lineup, but they've not really digested them properly.
No, they've been phoned in.
And then like you said, the Evoque is a great car. I had one, really liked it, and it has gently evolved mechanically.
They put some work into that because it was really important to them at the time, wasn't it? They did put some work into that. But you're absolutely right.
But those people should naturally gravitate to this now and have a couple of years on one of these. Yeah. And then when there's an Ewok, when the next Ewok comes out, jump back on that maybe.
So, in the final reckoning, it's maybe not quite as nice to drive as an Evoque, but it's much less. It just feels fresher and newer. I just like it more than a Q3 or an X1 because I think when all's said and done, this is a very nice car. Yeah. But B, and this is crucial, this is very Volvo, it doesn't make you look like a twat.
I quite like the waste paper basket. Like you say, as long as kids don't suck a sweet and then get bored halfway through and pop it in.
I've just vomited into it, Dad.